A rich man was boarding his flight when little girls stopped him with words that froze his heart. One morning, a rich man was heading to the airport. His name was William. He was the CEO of a major tech company in America. Today he had an important business flight to New York. The boarding announcement was made. William picked up his briefcase and walked toward the gate. After the security check, he reached right near the gate. But just then, two little girls appeared in front of him. They looked about 7 or 8 years old. There was fear in their eyes. Their clothes were worn out. But there was no lack of courage in their voices. One of them stepped forward and said, "Please don't get on the flight. We know who you are. But if you go, something bad will happen." William froze. His feet felt rooted to the ground. He stared hard at the two girls. "Who told you this?" William asked. The little girl replied, "We saw a dream last night. If you get on that plane, everything will be over." William tried to laugh, but inside, he was shaken. He looked at his ticket, checked the boarding time, then looked back into the eyes of the two girls. His heart whispered, "This isn't just a coincidence." William glanced around. No one else seemed to notice the strange exchange. People passed by, pulling their luggage, checking phones, boarding the flight. But he just stood there. "Who sent you?" William asked again, now more serious. The other girl, quiet till now, said, "We don't know who she was, she came in our dream. She said to stop the man with the black suitcase." "That's you." William's grip on his briefcase tightened. "How did you even get in here?" he asked. The girls said nothing. They looked down, as if scared. Then one of them whispered, "Please, you have to believe us." William didn't know what to say. He looked at his boarding pass again. It was time. He glanced back. The girls were gone, just vanished. He looked around, nothing. He asked a nearby guard, "Did you see two girls here just now?" The guard looked confused. "No, sir. No kids passed by me." William felt a chill. He turned toward the boarding gate and then turned back. He walked to a corner and sat down. He couldn't shake it. He didn't believe in this kind of thing. But the fear in those girls' eyes wasn't fake. And he couldn't ignore that part of him whispering, "Don't get on." He sat there until the final call echoed. Final boarding for flight 637 to New York. He didn't move. He watched through the glass as the plane slowly pulled away from the terminal. He missed the flight, and he didn't even understand why. 2 hours later, William sat in the airport lounge, his phone in hand. His assistant had been texting nonstop. "Sir, are you okay? You didn't board." He was about to reply when his screen flashed with a breaking news alert. Biraki flight 6637 crashes minutes after takeoff. No survivors. William's heart stopped. His phone slipped from his hand. He stared at the screen. It was real. The flight, the one he should have been on, was gone. And he was alive. Because of those girls. He couldn't move. He couldn't breathe. For 10 minutes, he sat frozen. Then he whispered, "Who were they?" He stood up and rushed to the security counter. "I need CCTV footage from gate 19. 2 little girls were there. I need to find them." The airport officer frowned. "Sir, no children passed through gate 19 in the last 3 hours. We've reviewed all footage." "Are you sure?" "I saw them with my own eyes." "There's nothing, sir." Fuka. That night William sat alone in his penthouse. The news was playing on every channel. Among the 198 victims was Senator Marshall, top executives of major firms, and several international diplomats. He couldn't take it. He turned off the TV. He poured himself a drink, but didn't sip. His mind replayed the moment. The voice, the words, the fear. "Please don't get on the flight, something bad will happen." He didn't sleep that night. Next morning William returned to the airport. He walked around like a madman, showed security the exact spot. But there was nothing. No footage. No witness. No girls. It was like they never existed. Until a cleaner, an old woman, saw his face and said, "Are you the man they warned?" William froze. "You saw them?" he asked. The woman nodded slowly. "I saw them. I've worked here for 20 years. I know when something strange walks by." "Who are they?" The woman said softly. "Not of this world." William's throat dried. "What do you mean?" She looked him dead in the eyes. "You were chosen to live. Maybe now it's your turn to find out why." 3 days later William hadn't returned to work. His board was furious. his team confused. But he didn't care. He kept looking. For the girls. For answers. Then a call came from an unknown number. He picked up. A child's voice said, "You're not ready yet, Mr. William. But soon you will be." The call ended. He stood frozen again. His heart raced. That voice, he knew it. It was one of the girls. But how? William didn't tell anyone about the call. He sat alone in his apartment, staring at the city skyline. The voice kept echoing in his mind. "You're not ready yet, Mr. William. But soon you will be." Who were these girls? How did they know? And why him? He picked up his phone and searched for private investigators. Within an hour, he hired one of the best. "Find me any record of 2 girls. Age around 7 or 8, seen at gate 19 at Lax 2 days ago." He told the investigator. "They warned me not to board a flight. That flight crashed. I owe them my life." The investigator looked skeptical. "But the money was good." "I'll look into it," he said. 2 days later the investigator called. "Sir, I reviewed hours of CCTV. No sign of 2 girls matching that description near gate 19. No entry logs. No one on staff saw them. It's like they were never there." William asked, "Any chance they could have entered without a ticket?" "I doubt it. TSA is tight. But I did find something strange." The investigator emailed a blurry still image from another part of the airport. A hallway far from the gate. 2 little girls. Standing, staring directly into a camera. Time-stamped 10 minutes before William saw them. But the footage after that, gone, corrupted. The girls had disappeared. Again. William leaned back in his chair. Something was happening. Something bigger than coincidence. Later that night William visited a church. He hadn't prayed in years. But now he knelt in silence. "God, I don't know what's going on," he whispered. "But someone saved me. Why? What am I supposed to do?" He sat there for an hour. When he came out, a small envelope was stuck under his car's windshield wiper. No name. He opened it. Inside was a handwritten note tore. "If you want answers, go to the old orphanage on Clover Street. Ask for room 14. The William's chest tightened. He hadn't told anyone about his search. Yet someone knew. He started driving. To midnight Clover Street. The old orphanage was half abandoned. One side still operated. The rest had been closed for years. William knocked. An old caretaker opened. "I was told to come here," William said. "Room 14. The caretaker's eyes widened. "We haven't used room 14 in decades. But if you've been sent, follow me." They walked down a dim hallway. Dust everywhere. The air was cold. The caretaker stopped at a door. "You're the second person to come here asking for that room." "Who was the first?" William asked. "A woman. Years ago. She never came out." The door creaked open. Inside was a small room. A bed, a cracked mirror, a broken doll on the floor. But on the wall, words scratched in faint letters. "Cho, don't let him board the flight." William stepped back. He read it again. Same words the girl said to him. His voice shook. "Who wrote this?" The caretaker looked uneasy. "Legend says 2 sisters stayed here once. Abandoned, orphaned. One night they died in a fire. But before that they used to draw planes. And warn people." William's heart pounded. "Do you know their names?" The caretaker nodded. "Amy and Eliza." He froze. That was the name on the blurry security photo folder. Back at home William couldn't sleep. He sat reading everything he could about Clover Orphanage. 25 years ago, 2 girls died in a fire. 'Cause unknown. No family claimed their bodies. No burial records. Just a single photo from the old orphanage website. He clicked it. 2 girls. Standing in front of a broken fence. Same faces. Same eyes. Same look he saw at the airport. William's hands trembled. They're not alive. The next day, William made a decision. He called his board. "I'm stepping down as CEO for now." "Why? Is this about the crash?" "No. It's something else." He shut his phone. He had to follow the trail. There was a reason he was saved. He had to find it. That same night, another note appeared at his door. "Chor. You still don't believe, but they're not done saving you." No signature. 48 hours later, newsflash, William turned on the TV to breaking news. Private jet crash outside Seattle. CEO of Arctech confirmed dead. Same flight path William Adams was scheduled to take next week. William dropped the remote. It was another flight he was supposed to be on. The same week. And again he'd changed plans last minute. He sat in silence for an hour. That evening, another call. This time, a voice that sounded older, maybe 12. You survived again, the girl said. But it's not about saving you. It's about changing you. William whispered. What do you want from me? The line went quiet. Then she said, go to the graveyard outside Woodsville, Section 5. Look for the stone that doesn't belong. Then silence. Midnight Woodsville graveyard. William arrived alone. He searched Section 5. Then he saw it. A small gravestone, no flowers, no dates, no name, just 2 words, still watching. He kneeled down. Suddenly, wind rustled through the trees. A whisper passed through the air. You're starting to see the world differently now, aren't you? He turned. No one there. But he knew. He was being watched, guided, protected, or warned. He didn't know anymore. 2-3 days later, William hadn't spoken to anyone. Not his board. Not his assistant. Not even his closest friend. He was consumed, not by fear but by purpose. Why him? Why those girls? Why twice? He couldn't shake the feeling. This wasn't just about saving his life. It was about changing it. And maybe others. A knock on the door. It was 11:43 p.m. William opened the door cautiously. No one was there, but a small box lay on the floor. Inside, a note for one more life, one more chance. Go to 341 Bridgeview Lane. Tonight. No name, no return address. Just an address in a rundown neighborhood. He grabbed his coat and left. 2 Bridgeview Lane, 2:30 m. It was raining. The building at 341 looked abandoned, broken windows, graffiti, dark halls. But William walked in without hesitation. At the top floor a light flickered. He pushed the door open. A man stood by the window, startled, angry, a gun in his hand. Who the hell are you? William raised his hands. I don't know, someone sent me here. The man looked panicked. Eyes swollen. Bottle on the floor. Gun still raised. You here to stop me? William said. Softly, maybe. The man's voice cracked. I lost everything. My wife, my daughter. I got nothing left. I was going to end it tonight. William's voice was calm. What was her name? The man froze. Sophie, he whispered. William nodded. Then don't do this. For Sophie. Not tonight. Silence. Then the man dropped the gun. Fell to his knees, sobbing. William walked over and sat beside him. For an hour, no words, just silence. Then William left. 2 outside, in the alley. As he walked toward his car, 2 little shadows stood under a street lamp. Same girls. Amy and Eliza. They smiled at him. This time he didn't ask questions. He just looked at them and said, thank you. They nodded. Then vanished. Like smoke. Next morning William went to the police anonymously. Told them about the man on Bridgeview Lane. They found him alive. Saved. William watched the news silently. The headline, former veteran rescued moments before suicide. No names, no details, but William knew the truth. Later that day he opened his laptop. Typed in a search, children who died in Clover Orphanage fire. Only one archived article. Old, faded, headline, 2 sisters' day in orphanage fire. No next of kin found. He clicked, Amy and Eliza, aged 7 and 8. One line stood out. The girls were known to be unusually quiet, often drawing airplanes, fire, and warnings. He closed the laptop. Then picked up his phone. Dialed his assistant. I need to start something, he said. 2 weeks later a press release went viral. Former tech CEO William Adams launches the Eliza Foundation. A mission to prevent suicides, provide mental health help, and protect children in foster care. His photo was everywhere. But behind his eyes he knew. This wasn't his idea. It was given to him. That night, he visited Clover Orphanage again. The old caretaker smiled. I heard what you did. The girls would be proud. William asked. You believe they're still here? The old woman whispered. Not here. But everywhere. As William left, he heard children's laughter behind him. He turned. Empty hallway. But a crayon drawing lay on the floor. 2 stick girls, a man in a suit, a plane flying away. Underneath the words. You listened. He picked it up and smiled. Later that week a private message came to William's inbox. From a hospital in Montana. A girl in critical condition. Terminal. Her last wish. To meet William. No reason why. Just his name on a paper. From Montana. 2 days later the girl was 9, tiny. Pale. Dying. But her smile lit the room. You're the man they told me about, she whispered. William sat beside her. Who told you? She pointed to the corner. I saw them. In my dreams. Amy and Eliza. William's eyes welled up. she said softly, they said you would come, and you'd hold my hand. Just once. He took her hand, she closed her eyes, and passed away with a smile. The doctor came in, no alarm, no panic, just peace. William stood up. And for the first time in his life, he cried without shame. That night as he walked to his hotel, 2 little girls stood by the road, smiling. He said, "Why me?" Amy replied, "Because you listened." Eliza added, "And now others will too." He smiled back. This time, he didn't blink. He watched as they faded away into the dark. 1 year later, William Adams was no longer the man people once knew. Not just because he stepped away from billions, but because of what he stepped into. Since the crash that should have ended his life, he had saved 39 others from suicide or death. Not through magic, but by showing up, being there, listening, the way they listened to him. The foundation, the Eliza Foundation, had grown quietly. No PR stunts, no big awards, just stories. A single mother who found help after a hotline saved her. A foster boy adopted after being pulled from the streets. A young woman who backed out of jumping, just because someone called her name at the right moment. William didn't claim credit. He never gave speeches. He simply watched, and continued. From March 8th, his birthday, he visited the crash memorial at the edge of the airport. It had been 1 year. He knelt beside the marble plaque listing all 198 names. His name wasn't there. But it could have been, it should have been. He closed his eyes. Whispered, "Thank you." When he opened them, a folded note lay by the flowers. No one had walked by. But the note was there. He opened it. It's time to stop chasing us, William. You've done what was needed. The rest is yours. He didn't understand at first. But somehow he felt it. Peace. That night, he slept deeply. For the first time in over a year, no calls, no notes, no dreams, just sleep. 2 weeks later, he visited a school in Nebraska where the foundation had funded mental health programs. During his walk through the hallway, a little girl ran up to him. Big eyes, messy hair. "You're Mr. William." He smiled. "Yes, my big sister says you saved our mom. She didn't jump that night. Because of your people." William knelt to her level. "Your mom is strong." The girl handed him a drawing. It was him, standing in the middle. On both sides of him were 2 girls, stick figures, one labeled Amy, the other Eliza. William froze. The girl smiled. "I saw them in my dream last night. They told me to give you this." He hugged her. No words. Just quiet understanding. 2 later that month, William sat on a bench outside a train station. He watched people rush past. Businessmen, students, homeless men, mothers, children. And he realized something. He no longer needed answers. The girls had never asked for fame. They had asked him to listen, to act. And now, their voices lived on in every life he touched. One evening, he returned to the orphanage. No longer broken, he walked into room 14 alone. He stood in silence, then whispered, "You saved me, twice. You showed me how to live. I don't need more signs. I'm ready now." And for the first time, he heard it, not in his ears, but inside. Amy's voice. "You were always ready, William. You just forgot." Eliza's voice. "No, live the life you were saved for." He turned around. No one there. But his soul felt full. He smiled, left the room, and closed the door. Forever. 5 years later, William never went back to tech. But the Eliza Foundation had expanded to 12 countries. It helped thousands. No big headlines. Just changed lives. Every year on March 8, he visited the memorial quietly, left 2 pink roses, and 1 folded note, always blank. He never saw the girls again. But in every life he touched, they were still there. Watching. William once ruled data, money, and power. But in the end, he was remembered not for the billions he made, but for the 2 little girls who stopped him at the gate and taught him how to live. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like the video. Subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories like this. Thank you for giving your valuable time. And if you learned something from this story, make sure to share it in the comments. Your words might inspire someone else today.